Welcome back to the podcast, everyone. Mark here, and Jenny, you will not believe what I've been diving into this week. It's a bit of a rabbit hole.
Oh, I'm ready. Is it about that new black hole picture again? Or have you finally perfected your sourdough starter now with AI integration? Because that's what I'm hoping for, honestly.
Even better, Jen. We're talking about Synaptics. They've just pulled back the curtain on their first Veros Wi-Fi 7 family. And this isn't just any Wi-Fi 7. This iteration is specifically engineered for the Internet of Things, the IoT. It's a huge deal.
Wi-Fi 7 for IoT? Okay, that definitely piques my interest. I thought Wi-Fi 7 was mostly about eye-watering fast downloads on our laptops or the next generation of VR. Why on earth would my smart toaster need it, Mark? Really?
That's the cool part. It's not just about raw speed, though it does hit peak speeds of 5.8 gigabits per second. This is primarily about ultra-low latency, like under 3 milliseconds. 3! Just imagine that for real-time applications.
Under 3 milliseconds? That's nearly instant for anything the human brain can process. So it's not just about streaming 8K video to my fridge. What sort of IoT applications truly demand time's level of responsiveness?
Exactly. Think about augmented reality, virtual reality, especially in industrial settings, where precision is key. Or, Jenny, picture remote surgery, where a delay of even a few milliseconds could be dire. Or, say, autonomous drones in a warehouse, performing precise movements. They need that immediate feedback. No lag.
Remote surgery over Wi-Fi, that's a significant leap of faith, to say the least. But I can see the potential. How are they achieving this ultra-low latency? Is it some secret sauce or something new entirely?
It's a core innovation of Wi-Fi 7 called MLO, multi-link operation. It essentially lets devices transmit data across multiple frequency bands, 2.4, 5, and 6 gigahertz, times simultaneously. So if one band suddenly gets congested, the data just flows through the others. It's like having a very smart traffic cop for your data, instantly rerouting, you know?
A traffic cop for data. So, no more buffering frustration in a crowded smart home with 20 devices streaming, gaming, and yelling at Alexa all at once? Because that's been my personal hell.
Precisely. It's critical for things like high-definition security feeds, or even 8K streaming, if you're into that. If one band gets flaky, MLO reroutes the data mid-transmission. It enhances reliability and throughput. And here's the kicker. These new chips from Synaptics are triple combo, Wi-Fi 7, Bluetooth 6.0, and Zigbee Thread, all integrated into one system on chip.
Triple combo? So, one chip to rule them all in the smart home, essentially. That's actually huge for simplifying manufacturing and, ultimately, should reduce costs for us, the consumers. Is that why you said they've cracked IoT limitations?
Yes, definitely. And it's not just the combo aspect. They've integrated the RF front end and the power management IC directly onto the chip. This can lead to pretty significant cost savings, like a 45% reduction in wafer cost. Imagine that for mass-market IoT devices. It just makes advanced tech much more accessible.
Okay, that's a real-world impact I can grasp. Less cost for manufacturers means more affordable smart gadgets for us. But what about power consumption? All that high-speed, multi-band functionality sounds like a battery drainer, doesn't it?
That's a great question, Jenny. And this is where it gets even better. They've integrated dedicated ARM cores directly into these chips. These cores offload about 30% of power usage from the main host processor in the device. This means a smart sensor, for example, could potentially last 5 years on a coin cell battery. Just think about that for always-on IoT applications, like a door sensor or a temperature probe.
5 years on a coin cell? That's quite something. Will these long-lasting sensors make wired IoT obsolete for most home smart devices? I mean, why would I ever run a wire again if the battery lasts that long?
It could certainly push us further into a truly wireless world for many consumer applications. But remember, there's always a trade-off beyond just power. Sometimes, a wired connection is still preferred, even vital, for reliability, especially in industrial settings, or where a device needs to deliver a lot of power back, like an automatic door opener, for instance. So, it's not a complete replacement, but definitely a huge step.
Good point. But for the vast majority of our home sensors, 5 years is a dream. Now, you also mentioned something about AI earlier. How does Synaptics Astra AI native platform tie into this Wi-Fi 7 family?
This is where it gets truly interesting, Jen, almost futuristic. Astra is Synaptics' Edge Intelligence Framework. It allows developers to deploy sensing and analytics directly on the local device, without needing to constantly send data to the cloud. Imagine on-device gesture recognition powered by AI and Wi-Fi channel sounding. The Wi-Fi signals themselves can be used to see movement, without cameras, you know?
Okay, that's both fascinating and a little Twilight Zone-ish. So my baby monitor could process cries locally without shipping recordings to some server farm in a different country? That's a massive privacy win right there. And honestly, a relief.
Exactly. Privacy is a huge aspect here, something consumers are increasingly concerned about. But also, think about the responsiveness. If the AI is on the device, there's no delay getting data to the cloud and back. Future doctors could have haptic AR gloves, streaming surgical telemetry right to their displays, all processed locally without any perceived lag. The possibilities are truly vast, extending into realms we're just beginning to explore.
Haptic AR gloves, wow. So, if I'm understanding this correctly, we're looking at a major market shift? All these technologies, MLO, triple combo, edge AI, improved efficiency, converging for the IoT, creating a perfect storm for innovation?
Definitely. ABI Research forecasts Wi-Fi 7 chipset shipments to exceed 2 billion by 2029, with a compound annual growth rate of 56% from 2024. That means Wi-Fi 7 IoT chips are going to be in times everything, and I mean times everything, times, anything with a chip, essentially.
2 billion chips. That's an enormous number. And with the Matter standard gaining traction, which is specifically designed to unify smart home devices, it sounds like this is the ideal scenario for widespread adoption. One app finally controlling all your lights, your locks, and maybe even your car's connectivity?
Exactly. The Matter standard really turbocharges adoption. It finally starts to break down those frustrating walled gardens between different smart home ecosystems. However, there's one challenge for Wi-Fi 7's full potential. That 6 GHz infrastructure is still being rolled out. Rural areas might not see the full benefits for quite a while, which is a real consideration.
That's a very practical point to bring up, Mark. The hardware might be ready, but the network might lag behind in certain areas. It's not a universal upgrade overnight. I mean, my biggest frustration sometimes is just getting my existing smart devices to talk to each other, let alone worrying about Wi-Fi 7 in the sticks.
Right? And it's not just rural areas. Even in densely populated areas, there's the risk of increased interference, as more devices try to leverage those higher frequencies. MLO helps, but it won't erase all challenges. The sheer number of connected devices means optimizing signal paths becomes a constant battle, even with this kind of advancement. It's a double-edged sword. More devices, more potential for signal clashes.
So while the chip sounds amazing on paper, the real-world experience could be bumpy for some until widespread 6 GHz adoption? That makes sense. And what about security, Mark? As these chips become more embedded in critical infrastructure, like medical devices or industrial controls, the attack surface expands, doesn't it?
That's a major concern, Jenny. While local AI processing does help with privacy by keeping data on device, it also means more sensitive data is stored directly within homes or facilities that might not have enterprise-grade security. A breach in a home network could now have far-reaching implications, especially if critical health data or industrial control functions are involved. Synaptics mentions security features, but the onus is still on device manufacturers and, ultimately, consumers to maintain robust security protocols. It's a high-stakes game now, not just about your smart light bulbs.
That's a sobering thought. When you talk about remote surgery or autonomous drones, the consequences of a security flaw become quite serious. It's not just about someone hacking your smart fridge anymore. Would you, personally, trust remote surgery over Wi-Fi today, knowing these risks?
That's a tough one, Jen. In a perfectly controlled environment, perhaps. But the real world is messy. There's a reason critical infrastructure often still relies on wired connections. It's about redundancy and reliability beyond what wireless can offer today. The advancements are pushing the boundaries. But for truly life-or-death scenarios, the industry will have to prove the wireless reliability and security are on par with, or exceed wired connections. It'll take time and rigorous testing before adoption becomes widespread in those high-stakes fields.
It sure sounds like it. So, while Synaptics' new Wi-Fi 7 chips for IoT are certainly a stride forward, particularly for consumer devices and privacy, we still have some significant hurdles to clear before we're fully living in that 5-year battery, remote surgery-enabled, truly smart world. Mark, this has been an incredibly insightful dive into Wi-Fi 7 for IoT. From surgical tech potentials to smart home privacy and the practical challenges of rollout, it seems like Synaptics is certainly pushing envelopes.
It's truly exciting, Jenny. The integration, the ultra-low latency, the power savings, and the AI capabilities, it's ushering in a whole new era for intelligent, interconnected devices, even with the caveats we've discussed. Thanks again for joining me on this deep dive and for bringing those important counterpoints to light.
Thanks for sharing, Mark. It's always a pleasure. And thank you, our listeners, for tuning in. We'll catch you next time. Feel free to weigh in on social media. What's your biggest frustration with smart devices? Or would you pay extra for a Wi-Fi 7 ready appliance right now?